All right, I thought it would be interesting to talk about consciousness. Um, so I guess uh, if you think of, consciousness is really everything. Like I'm studying physics, so like I've always been interested in the reason why I chose like physics to study at like university. Like I don't even like academics, you know. Like if I knew what I wanted, if I could just do my career like right now, that's what I would do. I don't like, I'm not a great student, but or I don't like being a student anyway. Um, why I chose physics, right? I'm just getting tired already. Okay. Uh, yeah, I chose to study physics. Like physics interests me because it's trying to talk about the fundamentals of the existence. And like I think I've always had like existential like curiosity like since I was like 12 or 13. Um I think the key with that, like I'm just gonna go off topic like probably a lot of times, but I think the key with that is like most people like they have like a little thing, like a short period, they're like, oh my god, like the existence, aliens, this stuff, and then like they just completely forget about it and like return to normal life. But I think the key is like understanding like these things about like the existence or like thinking about the universe and stuff. Like you have to think about that and put it in its proper place. Like just because you think about those things doesn't mean that your family, your work, all that stuff like is thrown out the window. I think that's the thing. Like people either think about the existence or like their normal daily life. Like you have to understand that it's all like together. Like you have to understand the perspective. Um, you have to understand like where one thing begins, where one thing ends, the proper place for different things. I don't know, like that's not great language, but hopefully that makes sense, like the idea. Anyway, yeah, so why I study physics. Yeah, I'm interested in like the fundamentals, how things work fundamentally, like tracing back cause and effect so many times. That didn't make that much sense, but yeah, so so whenever I was thinking about that and everything, I never thought about, well, like I was interested in like health and fitness. So I was always interested in like the body and like how to um, optimize, that like I'm vegan. I have been for like several years. Uh, better not rain on me. Um, so I've been interested in like the human system, but yeah, I didn't come upon like meditation and consciousness until like about a year ago. About a year ago. Uh, so yeah, but I never really like thought that like, I mean, if you're not conscious, like imagine like you, like whoever's watching this, if you're not conscious, like everything is gone for you. The whole universe is gone for you, right? Because if you think about, these trees and all this stuff, like, yeah, I see it there, but where is it happening like for me? The light hits your retina, all the physical and biological and medical stuff that, it hits your retina, your brain processes it, everything. So you're experiencing everything within yourself. You're experiencing the whole universe within yourself. Like this system is your key to the universe. So I never thought about it like that from like a self-aware like point of view until I got interested in like meditation. And I don't know if I want to say the word yet, the S word. Uh, just cause like, I don't know. It sounds like such like an outlandish thing. Like it's just a corrupted word, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'll keep that aside for now. Yeah. So if you're not conscious, like everything is gone for you. Everything is gone for you. And that's kind of a crazy thing to think about. And I think the easiest way to feel like how remarkable it is, like for yourself, is to think about how close that sleep is to death. How close that sleeping is to death in terms of like your state of consciousness. Yeah, it's interesting because like, yeah, whenever you sleep and you wake up, you know, like time passed, so you're somewhat conscious, but obviously, you know, it's nothing like whenever you're wakeful. Yeah. What else to say? What else to say about consciousness? Yeah, so I have a good amount of hours of meditation under my belt. A lot, a lot. I'm very interested in it. I have been for like the last year. And like it has come into my experience that like I don't have to think to act. I don't have to have thoughts like to do things. Like I can use my intuition. And by intuition, that's kind of a hard thing to grasp, I guess, because a lot of people think they're being intuitive when they're really just being logical and they're thinking it through. And they're like going on like gut feeling or something like that. But that's not what intuition is. That's not what I'm trying to describe as intuition. I also kind of had like a predisposition to like being intuitive. I think even before I started meditating or anything. Just, I don't know, that's kind of the way I am. I was kind of, yeah, decently self-aware beforehand. I don't know why. That's just how I am, I guess. But I definitely have increased like my self-awareness, like with the whole meditation and everything. I think I made good progress. I made good progress. What to talk about? Yeah, so I don't have to think. And I know that's crazy. Like I would never imagine that before, like not thinking to do things, because for so many years, like I thought like it is my thoughts that are driving my actions, my life, everything. Like my thoughts are me. The mind is me. But like I didn't believe anything. I didn't believe or disbelieve that like those things whenever they said like you're not the mind or you're not the body, because I was skeptical, you know. But like it just came into my experience after doing the practice after so long that like I'm observing like my mind. And like I'm observing like how crazy like some of the thoughts are. And like your mind is just, you know, like this has been said like other places too, like you can hear it too. But your mind is like recycling the data that you've already gathered. It's permutations and combinations of the data that you've already gathered. It's not perceiving like the present moment just as it is. And if you're able to observe the mind from a distance, you can see like how there's like patterns in how you think and stuff like that. There's patterns in how you think. And it looks like a little bit like silly like after a while once you see it from a distance. And then you can see like the mind is not me. You can see that I think it's easier for people to understand that like you're not the body. I guess some people probably think they are the body too, but it's easier to have some separation from that, I guess. Because, you know, you've sat still before and you can see, okay, I can think about something or whatever, but my body's not moving. I don't have to use the body. But the mind, that's a hard one. Everyone, you know, that's the one that takes practice to see that you're not the mind. Uh, I don't know how long I'll just sit here like not say anything because I don't know what to say. But um, yeah. Oh, so this is what I was gonna say. You can see that like your mind is a tool like for you to use, just like your body is a tool, like a physical tool. You can see that your mind is more of a tool in giving you suggestions on what to do. Like the best way your mind can work for you if it's mulling over things, if it's constantly like on the edge, and it's always like guessing and giving you possibilities about whatever information that you're taking in at the present moment. So I think that's the best way the mind can work for you. And most people, they've come to a lot of conclusions with their mind because it gives them a sense of identity. Their thoughts and things about who they are, what they are. So they've already come to conclusions, and then that gets replayed over and over in their mind. And that's what gives them a sense of identity. And that's why they think that's what they are. And then that definitely takes away a lot of your intelligence. That takes away a lot of your capabilities. And I think I've just seen like with myself, like whenever, and there's scientific evidence too, like like what meditation does to your brain. And I think it's like the neuronal regeneration like goes up by a good like percentage. And I've just seen like with myself, like my arm's getting tired. Anyway, how how different it is. I know that's not describing anything. um, shit. Um, Obviously, an easy, obvious thing is like, okay, you're able to focus better, like once you meditate, because your mind's not, all over the place. But it just frees up like memory or something. Like imagine like your computer, it just frees up like RAM, and everything just works so much more efficiently. Yeah. And then, so yeah, with consciousness, another like interesting concept is like the context of consciousness versus compulsiveness. And I never thought about like compulsiveness and consciousness until I started meditating. But just like this is like a physical thing, like that's easy to understand. So whenever like I'm meditating, and I'm just trying to do nothing. It's really like, it's simple. There's no complications at all. That's the thing with logic and stuff. It becomes complex because the steps add up. You have to pick it apart, part by part. But with this, it's simple. It's just about seeing things in perspective. It's just about perception, just seeing something just as it is. What was I saying? Oh yeah. Okay. So yeah. So whenever I meditate, I just sit there, do nothing. And whenever like things happen in the external environment, they cause a compulsion within like my body, or within my mind. That's harder to see like within my mind because it's harder to see the mind for what it is than seeing what the body for what. Yeah, like like I said, like I was decently self-aware before I started meditating. And I think that came from like how much I focused on exercise and stuff. And like I was pretty self-aware of my own body. I would say I had like an above average self-awareness of my body. But it wasn't until yeah, I progressed like with the mind aspect, like with meditation. Yeah, so anyway, so yeah, whenever I sit and meditate, something happens in the external environment. Um, and then it causes like a compulsion within my body, like a twitch somewhere, like in my ear, or, you know, anywhere in my body. Like I can feel it. Whether it's like a sound or something moves or whatever. And then eventually like you learn to just watch the compulsions like within your body. And you don't react compulsively to it. It just becomes conscious. And then that translates like into your everyday life. You know, that's the thing too. Like you have to understand that like meditation isn't just, okay, this is what I do for 10 minutes and then I'm done. Like then now like the rest of my life is just back to normal. That 10 minutes or whatever you do, like the practice for, it's like a window. It's opening up like a state of consciousness or a way of being for the rest of, you know, the time that you're living. So yeah, you know, the easiest way to see it is you'll be more calm, like, you know, after that for the rest of your day or whatever. But also you'll be more conscious. You won't be as compulsive. You won't react to as many things. You're able to be grounded. Yeah, I think I described it before one time is like, I feel like sometimes like I'm a pole, like in the ground. And like things, like the wind is blowing past me, like leaves are blowing past me, but I'm just sitting in the ground, just unmoving while everything else is surrounding me. So yeah, you can see you become more conscious. And yeah, you know, like I haven't gotten angry like at someone in a long time. You know, of course I've gotten sad and upset and frustrated, but I'm able to just describe it as like my feelings. Like this is how I feel. Like I've been able to do that for years, which is a great thing. Like I haven't reacted compulsively in anger towards someone, like externalizing my emotions, because it just becomes easier as you become more conscious. You're not as compulsive. You're not as reactive. And that's the thing, like so many adults like today, like adults, you know, like they're so compulsive. Like, you know, they go to the Starbucks, the store, whatever, like they don't have, you know, one thing, and then just an immediate emotional reaction to what's going on, like not seeing, you know, the situation for what it is, that, you know, they just don't have it or whatever. Or just little things like become a big problem if you're more compulsive. And I don't expect you to like take my word for it. Like it's just something you can see in your experience. Like you just have to just try it. Like just try becoming more, like raising your consciousness, and just see like how much more control you have. Like another way to describe it is self-control. You know, like like a standard way of living is like you have a plan. You got to be disciplined. Like, okay, this is what I have to do. Because if you're like most people, if they don't have a plan, if they're not disciplined, they'll just react to whatever's around them. They'll just go off track in so many ways. Every thought and emotion they have, they'll just go in circles with it. So that's why, you know, you have to have a plan. I was really focused on that, like being disciplined. Like I was into the whole cold showers thing and being disciplined. Okay, this is what I do every day. And the whole becoming routine and everything. But there's a different way of doing things. You can become more conscious. You can become more grounded to where like whatever thoughts and emotions you have, you don't react to them right away. And you're able to just observe them, gain wisdom from them, and then make a decision later based off of the wisdom that you've gained. And yeah, that obviously, tends to be a lot better in many cases. To be more grounded, to be more grounded, to be more conscious. Yeah, but in terms of, okay, yeah, so let's just talk about another aspect of consciousness. So yeah, so whenever you progress in meditation, for a while, the easiest, one of the things you'll notice is like your physical sensitivities go up dramatically. Like I felt like overwhelmed with like how much data I felt like I was processing, like how much more I felt like I was experiencing. Like just after a few months of like just doing it every day, like I was pretty interested, so I did it a lot, but just how much more like physically like I was experiencing, like just a shower, like how much more like intense like it was. Eating food, like that's a big one. That's one like I've really enjoyed, like how much more I enjoy eating my food, and how much more of like a intense experience like it is. That sounds so stupid to say, like an intense experience like eating food, but it is, like it's more intense. So yeah, so we can just talk about it like basically like fundamentally your sight, hearing, you can just hear. You're just aware of like so much more. I don't think like you're hearing, like you're not able to hear any better, but you're just more aware of whatever you're hearing, I guess. And same thing with smell and taste and like touch, the five senses or whatever, the physical senses. So that's a easier to understand aspect of it, I guess, like that you can prove with science and everything. I don't know. I'm not sure what to say. It just feels like such a big topic. Because consciousness is like it's everything, I guess. When I say everything, it's like the most fundamental thing to your life. And awareness is like a good, another good way of saying like what I'm talking about. I think I'll just leave it there for now. I'm not sure what else to say.